Oh, Matthew Zablevitz here for NYC Metal Scene. I'm here with For An Autopsy. I'm with Patrick and Blue. What's up, guys? How you doing, man?
Thanks for having us. Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much for having us, man.
We are at Saint Vitus, down in the basement in the depths of hell. It's hot as hell down here.
Yeah, it's super hot.
Toasty.
And you guys are going to be going on soon in a little bit.
Yep. Yes.
So I figured they'd just take a quick time to do some quick interview because I find your lyrics really interesting. So that's basically what we're going to talk about.
All right.
So, so you guys are devoid of preachy politics. You don't waste time with fantasy bullshit or cliche gore or horror, and you address serious topics.
We try to.
Right. And in fact, there's a quote. You guys say somebody's got to say something about the shit that's going on.
Yes.
So, like, what's like some of the topics that are really pissing you off the most? Like maybe like the rising cost of healthcare, like how people are going broke.
The easiest way for, I think, collectively all of us to put it is just simply the fact of the way that human beings disregard each other.
Yeah.
The way that our government and big business take advantage of the middleman in this country. The way that poverty-stricken areas are looked over by the people that have the money. People aren't helping each other. People don't care about each other. And there's a lot of really dark subject matter going on right around us all day long that you can see. You don't need to watch a horror movie. You don't need to, see something insane to see things that just shouldn't be there. So those are the kinds of topics that we try to bring to the table because it's important.
The general downfall of humanity offers a lot of content constantly. So, never any shortage of, inspiration.
Especially the current climate. There's lots to talk about.
Yeah, we're fully the reason,
This is Joe, by the way.
hi, I'm Joe. Nice to meet you guys.
He snuck in there.
We're fully the reason why everything's turned to shit. It's just people. People.
Right.
We are the reason why everything's
people
falling
in general,
apart.
but I mean,
Neglect.
there are decent people. Like, I like to think I'm semi-decent.
Same, yeah,
you
of
guys
course.
seem like good people, you know?
Well, that's not what... Okay, it's not to say that every single person is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
We don't mean that, but what we do mean is that collectively as a society, there's like this disdain for each other. There's no one wants to help each other.
You can't walk down the street and just be like, hey, dude, what's going on? Because they're instantly just like, is he talking to me?
Standoffish.
The fact that people get super defensive when you just want to talk to them, just be a human, just be like, hey, from one human to the next,
just like
what's going on?
Like
How
a
are
simple
you today?
interaction.
Like just doing something so little. They think there's an angle to it.
Right.
There's a reason why.
You think maybe that's because of the rise of social media? I mean, sometimes people.
Listen, everybody wants to blame something on somebody, but here's the thing.
Right.
The only thing that social media has done with the things that are going on is put them directly in your face. The reason that the police can't get away with beating the crap out of somebody in the corner anymore is because, boom, they're right on live, internet stream instantly like that. The reason that you can't do things anymore is because... So it's always been happening, but the difference is that people are seeing it more, and the more you see something, the more you get people talking about it, and the more people talk about it, the more you get people fighting it, and that's where we're at as a society right now. Now, I think that some things are very extreme. Some people are taking certain subject matters way over the top past where they need to be, and
both sides.
People need to remember that we need a little learning curve. We have to learn about each other. We have to understand each other. We have to have open dialect. But when you have a platform, you should use your platform to spread something positive. And what we're doing may seem very negative, but it's getting true, real points of view across in a way where it's tangible, where people can learn, and I think that's important.
One of the things you guys touch on too is income inequality, and I mean, with this recent, that tax law that was passed a couple years ago, I mean, it seems like it further widens the gap between the ultra wealthy and then just like regular people like us. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with being wealthy, but I mean, how much money does one need? You know what I'm saying?
Like if you have more money, you're the one who's the most safe. If you've got the least money, you're the most disposable person.
Right,
That's bullshit.
Right, like you might not be able to afford insulin or something like that,
Well, Blue, may I?
Absolutely.
Okay. So here's the thing. I think there's really good rich people.
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
Absolutely.
there's a lot of rich people that are giving back, and I think a lot more, and I think you're seeing it more because you can see it more now.
Right, yeah.
I also believe that there are a lot of people that are willing to step on their mother's head to get over the next guy.
Right.
You can't just generalize like that.
Right.
The biggest problem is that there's not opportunity on the same level for people at different degrees of wealth.
Yes.
And that's where things come into play. The middle class carries the country, taxes and all of those things. The lower class people economically are not getting the things that they need to move forward and catch up because there's no way to get out of that hole.
Tough,
and, you know, the upper class gets the tax breaks. The upper class gets the easy living. So there's a lot of animosity going on with that. And there's ways to fix that. But, again, learning curve. We need to actually start discussing these things.
Right,
so we do talk about all this stuff, but we talk about a lot of different things. And we try to keep everything that we say on a level where everybody can kind of grasp onto it. And maybe you can, if you don't know about what we're doing, if you don't know about what we're talking about, the reasons that we're doing it, you can look into it.
Right,
we make it tangible.
Right, maybe you bring the subject matter to the forefront and like, hey, you know what, maybe, I like these guys' bands, I like their music, and maybe, I'm digging their riffs. Let me take a look at their lyrics.
Right.
You never know unless somebody talks about it.
From your last album, you have that song, When the Bulbs Burn Out. Yeah, I was just listening to that in the car, and I'm one to talk. I drive a Hemi Challenger, but the 4 cylinders do shut off when I'm on the highway. So you know what I'm saying?
Well, listen. I have a sports car. I get it. I understand. I like fast cars. But you got to do certain things.
Yeah, and with stuff like that, that's just basically it's insignificant compared to. Sometimes especially sometimes politicians on the left, and when I go to vote, I usually vote for someone that believes in science, that isn't denying science, climate change, and stuff like that.
Important stuff.
So but sometimes people on the far left, they're talking about saving the environment, which is important, yet they're taking private planes across the country and
Yeah, we just talked about.
Did you really?
That.
Yeah.
And Blue and I just had
It's
a conversation.
just that's an all sides problem.
Yeah,
That's just frivolous exploitation of just everything.
The worst part about all of the things that we're saying is that we don't want to seem like we're standing on top of a soapbox yelling at anybody about our lyrics. Our lyrics are what they are.
Right.
We write what we write. Will and Joe put the lyrics together the way they put them together, and we're doing it because it's stuff that we think we need to say, but maybe you just like our music and you want to just hang out with our music. That's
Absolutely.
cool.
Yeah. It sounds great in the car.
It's there if you want it. And if you don't want it, you don't have to.
Yeah.
We try to write. What I'm trying to say is we try to write our lyrics in a way that they're interpretable.
Right, yeah.
Maybe it's about the environment, but maybe you had a bad experience in your life that somehow relates to the lyrics that are coming out and makes you feel a certain way, which is something I feel like has been missing from music for a long time. Remember those old songs that you would listen to, like Disposable Heroes and all these different songs that, you would hear the lyrics and you'd be like, I can relate to that,
Yes.
And maybe you don't even think about the same thing that the person that was writing it, but somehow you can grasp onto it.
Yeah.
And we try to do that, and we think it's important to talk about things that are important to us, but we also think it's important for people to interpret things in a manner that is applicable to them, because it'll make them like the music more.
That's excellent. Hey, one more quick question, and we'll make this a little more fun. So you guys are from the North Jersey. Well, generally the band's based out of North Jersey, Jersey City, whatnot.
From Long Island, New York.
Got a couple New Yorkers, a Boston guy.
So this is perfect. So the band got together around 2008?
2007 we got together. 2008 we released our first piece of music.
Let me ask you this question, because you guys definitely have that awesome groove slam beat. How much of an influence was that early New York death metal slam style and influence on your style of music, if at all?
The thing is
He was older. He was the only one that was in the band that's standing here.
Yeah, I'm the original member, and our very
I'm in my
early
40s as well.
Yeah, I'm 43.
Okay.
But our first record is much more towards the death metal, deathcore thing than we have evolved to.
Yeah.
But Blue was in one of those bands, as a matter of fact, and.
I spent a couple of years in Internal Bleeding.
You were in Internal Bleeding?
Yeah, I played bass for them for a while.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Were you in Internal Bleeding around 93, 94?
No, I'm not that old. But
Well, I am. Because I was.
Yeah. So
I'll tell you afterwards. I don't want to say that.
For me, I grew up in the New York hardcore scene, the New Jersey hardcore scene.
Yeah.
And I saw a lot of those bands because around that time, bands like Marauder and bands like that were bleeding into that obituary sound with the hardcore edge.
Right.
So I loved all of that stuff. I got a
Yeah,
chance
me
to
too.
see a lot of it
Absolutely.
early on, and like Human Remains and like all the Jersey bands, and Ripping Corpse and like even earlier stuff. So I like all that stuff. Blue is in a band called Dysentery, which is super brutal slam band from the Boston area. So we're influenced by everything.
By everything.
We love that stuff.
You love that stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And, you know, and real quick, how awesome is it? I just listened on NYC Metal Scene, Agnostic Front and Sick of It All are doing a four-date tour. Like they're doing Manhattan, Shaolin, fucking Brooklyn, and Queens. So
that's sick.
Sick.
You know what? The New York hardcore scene is influencing lots of music, and it's been since like the 90s when tours were kind of starting to fall together, where you could see bands like Irate playing with bands like Candiria, playing with bands like Meshuggah, and bands like Dillinger Escape Plan, and you know Madball's gone on tour with lots of metal bands. Hatebreed did Slayer.
Right.
So,
and Obituary was, I think, played with Sick of It All recently. But I think it's so much better like that, because I remember like in the late 80s, it was more, you know, compartmentalized. And I like it, like it's just good, heavy music.
If it's heavy, it's good.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, hey man, NYC Metal Scene, Matthew Zablavitz, he would fit for an autopsy. They're about to go on soon. Thank you guys so much for
pleasure, man.
Taking a couple minutes to say what's up.
Brother.
Yeah!
That's way better than me.
Okay. Yeah, that was awesome, man. Thanks,
Thank you
brother.
very much, man. Pleasure.
Cool.
Thanks.
Fucking A.